Hi and welcome back to the Lash Tribe Show. I'm your host Julia Mann, and today I'm speaking to Mandy Jeffrey from Fox Cosmetics and how we have been planning the newest 2021 Lash Brows Beauty Global Conference. So hi everyone, I'm here with Mandy Jeffrey from Fox Cosmetics. How are you?
Hello, good Julia, how are you?
I'm great. So we are here today to tell you about a really exciting Lash Brow and Beauty Global online conference, which is going to be held on the 22nd of August this year from 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, Brisbane time. And we just wanted to come on and chat to you about all the amazing speakers, how the event even came to be alive, because you were actually the one asking me to help you out a little bit. So I'm very excited to hear about how it all started.
When I started looking at rebranding from Australian Lash and Brow Artist to Beauty Lab, I really wanted to focus on more business sort of side of things of the beauty industry and the more knowledge-based, rather than it just being a skill set based, but more so giving people the information on how to run their businesses, to bring other experts in, so business techniques, marketing techniques, but also that information of how to figure out what's in your products, why they're doing what they're doing, not just how to do it and how to sell it, but the actual information behind, because you don't need to be a beauty therapist anymore. You don't need to, do the diploma to get into the industry. You cannot learn everything you need to know in a one-day course, a two-day course, an online course, a 6-month course compared to what you get as a beauty diploma. So, and even in a beauty diploma, you're not going to get all the information that you need. I wanted to do this event face-to-face in small groups. So there was a lot of coaching going on, but then COVID hit. It's near impossible to do face-to-face conferences now. And the risk is just too high for people especially in Australia with our border closures come through so quickly.
Yeah.
I then decided, well, let's try and do it online. And I'm like, I don't think I can do that by myself. So of course, I've worked with you, Julia, before. And we're both in Brisbane and we work so well together. And you're so good at like the online side of things that I was like, well, I have to reach out to Julia and join together to do an online conference again when we've done face-to-face before, and share our knowledge and really cherry pick some industry trainers and non-industry trainers as well, and people that are freely offering advice and helping, keep this industry positive and afloat during the pandemic. And yeah, I think we've worked really well together, and the people that we've brought in together are from all different aspects of the beauty industry. There is some skill-based training, but there's a lot of business training, which can be very hard to source on your own as well, and then to have it online where we could all work together and that we have the time with the speakers and with yourself and I for, our attendees to go, okay, so what does this mean? What does this mean? And be more specific with the skill sets that they want to, increase or get more knowledge in, and then to have access to those speakers and trainers, for up to 2 months afterwards, where they can go, hey, I've been trying to do this skill, or I've tried this with my Facebook advertising, it's not working, can I get a little bit more support? That we have this group of people who have been in the industry for quite a long time, or they're specialists outside the industry who work within, with people in the industry, to offer that feedback and support. So that was the whole aim of creating the Lash Brown Beauty Global Conference, and of course making it global, that we can do it online. It's all recorded. Most of our speakers are coming on live, which is very different to a lot of other conferences, is that it's pre-recorded. So it's not pre-recorded, majority is live. So you're actually still interacting to a degree with people, that we can't get that big conference experience, but it's the next best thing that we could do.
Yeah. I mean, that's what actually got me excited about it when you asked me, first of all, that it's not just lashes, but beauty in total. There's a lot of business experts that have grown multiple salons that have their own communities online now. So I was excited to ask those people to join, because we haven't had that before in the industry.
No.
Business is business, and if someone from a different field can add value in any other business, I mean, that is invaluable for everyone.
Totally agree. Yeah.
And what I also love about it is, like you already mentioned, that it's going to be live. Like you're going to come to the academy at Lash Tribe and we're going to do live lessons. You're going to have a model for the brows. I think that would be amazing.
Yes, so I'll bring in a model for brow henna. So I'm going to do the 2 sessions, one on brow henna, one on brow mapping, and there'll be a live model. I've ordered a GoPro so we can hook it up to the computer so you can see exactly what I'm doing, rather than us trying to, you know, manipulate cameras and phones. I'm like, I'll just get a GoPro and then I can live stream it straight to the computer so everyone can see exactly what I'm doing. It's not a pre-recorded, edited, oh, this is a nice way of doing it. If something goes wrong, you're going to see it and you're going to see how I correct it as well. Right. So I might actually, even with the henna, try and make something go wrong so I can, like, say, neutralize a yellow brow. So you get that bird's eye view of what I'm actually doing. Yeah, which is pretty awesome, I think.
Yeah. And I'm going to be covering volume, Russian volume. Yeah. Russian volume.
Proper Russian, not volume.
Yeah. Because I feel, and we've talked about that before, the industry, especially in the last 2 years, because everything moved online, people are learning the wrong stuff from the wrong people online. And there is so much drama around mega volume fans, 20-25D, using finger rolling technique. There's nothing wrong with finger rolling, but people have lost, and I probably include that as well, have lost the art of lashing and actually creating something that looks amazing, something that you could actually enter like an online competition, or do hopefully one day a live competition again. Yes. Something where the art comes back and it's not just all about making people look like someone who could fly away, like a caterpillar type look.
It's
customized. Look, it has its place, but if people are not lashing healthily anymore, I don't think the industry will survive, because there won't be clients with lashes left to lash.
Yeah, the traction alopecia is going to be huge. And the same with a lot of the new brow treatments that are coming out. It's like, well, these aren't actually suitable for everybody, you know, and if you haven't had the training into why, then you're not going to know. And if your trainer hasn't said, oh, you know, you probably shouldn't, you know, laminate these particular brows, and you laminate them and then they lose half their brow hair.
Yeah.
Whose fault is that? You know, the trainer hasn't given you enough information, because they maybe assume that you're a beauty therapist, that you know the contraindications already, you know skin conditions. We can't assume that anymore. You know, people are training, and I'm not putting down any trainers, but people are just training the skill set.
Yeah.
Not the chemicals, not the contraindications, not the risks. And the risks with brows and lashes, obviously it's not going to kill you, but if we cause traction alopecia in brows from overstretching them, or like chemically destroying that hair with lamination services, or with lash extensions, putting too heavy a fan on, you know, pre-made 20D 0.10 fans, terrible. And we all know that, but they're being sold and they're being trained.
Yeah.
And traction alopecia, you won't see it today, you won't see it in 6 months, but maybe in 2 years, you will start to see traction alopecia in your clients, and then you lose them.
Yeah.
Because they don't have any lashes left. And that could be a permanent thing that happens when you get traction alopecia, and you've now maimed a client. But it's been so gradual, they maybe don't notice, and you're like, oh, I can't actually do her lashes anymore, or his lashes, because that hair's gone and it may never grow back.
And you can see that already online. There's so many videos on TikTok with hundreds of thousands of followers that are creating a quick fan. I know it's satisfying to watch, and it is a skill, but you can see the type of people they're putting those fans on. They already have literally no lashes left.
Precisely.
But I want to go back to basics. I've been lashing now a lot shorter than you, but still 11 years.
Yeah.
And 11 years, I have come across many different types of lashes. So I want to go back to basics, talk about what can you actually put on this type of lash, and how can you create perfectly balanced fans and create balance in a set. So I will be showing that live as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Like the conference, when we've spoken, it's going to be obviously live, first of all, and it's going to be held also via Zoom. So people can tune in from all over the world. You can even rewatch it if you can't be there live because of time differences. But I think it's so amazing. Most conferences, you just watch something. Don't have the chance to ask. You don't have the chance to look at other people being there with maybe hopefully that little cocktails at the other end, or that Uber Eats voucher, dinners, or breakfast or lunches, whatever they're having, because that's one of the specials we included, obviously. So it's going to be amazing. A nice get together of everyone and be able to ask questions then and there. And afterwards.
Yeah. And I think definitely like trying to get that, I don't know if you felt the same thing, but there's definitely been like a bit of a shift in community, because we haven't had, any of that face-to-face contact for nearly 2 years, right? In a group setting. Some of them are starting to come out now, but I know we've had so many new people coming into all different facets of the industry over COVID, because so many people lost their jobs, of course, and went, well, I can get into beauty. I can do a quick lash course or a quick brow course, or even if they're doing facials or whatever, but they haven't actually been part of the community because they've trained online. They've not been in a group setting in a classroom. People aren't working, or what I've seen, they're not working as well together. People are being a little bit more vicious, right, on forum. There's been some awful things I've seen on groups on Facebook, even comments on TikTok and things like that, that there's been misinformation or not the full amount of information being given, but because these students have paid, money to learn online from an expert, they're only hearing one side of the story. They're not in a classroom where, oh, she's struggling and he's struggling. Oh, this is a thing. They think it's just them, or it's just the glue they're using, or it's just the IPL they're using, or, it's something else. It's like, no, that can actually just be your client. That maybe your client is just not suitable for this treatment. And it's not that it's a contraindication that they can't have it done. It's just their body chemistry doesn't work with the chemistry of what we're doing. And that step seems to be really missed in a lot of the trainings out there. And I think because it is so quick, or, just online, and they're working by themselves, you don't get that opportunity to bounce off other people and learn to work with other people. Like when I did my beauty training, we had months and months of, client days in salon, in, the college, where we would have, 2-week blocks of clients. And that's all we did, was just client after client after client. Same doing work experience. Like we were hammered, with the cleaning and the laundering and what we had to wear. Like I used to get in so much trouble for my hair. I trained with Alopecia. 20 something in 97 I trained, so I used to get in so much trouble for my hair, and it did not look like this, of course, but I would have colors in it and I would get in trouble because that was not the Alopecia way, right? And I still graduated top of my class because I was very good hands-on at what I did. Woo! Yeah. And but it was having that feed of working with different personality, because even in the class, we had 15 students and we all had different personalities. We had, me at 7, there was about 4 of us that were 17. Then we had people in their 40s and 50s, and you had to learn to get along with them, and you had to learn how to communicate with them, which to me, it seems a little bit lacking out there at the moment, of that maybe, your trainer doesn't know everything. I don't claim to know everything, and that one course is not enough. I do not do any treatments the same way I did them 24 years ago when I learnt, at all. Brows weren't even a thing 24 years ago. Like, you didn't even put brow makeup on. Like, there was nothing. And we only had like one tint colour for brows anyway. But we certainly didn't have all these options. And I think people really, to become part of that community and know that we can actually support each other, without it being detrimental to our own businesses or anything like that. But to actually see you can celebrate someone else's success and you can offer constructive feedback in a nice way. And that's a big problem, is that I see, is that a lot of people are, needing help, not knowing where to go, not knowing how to actually get their, their booking system in place, and how to actually work with their clients, how to respond to clients even. Because it just can't be included in these trainings. Even if it's online, it's not the same as, learning customer service in a group setting,
Something simple like a consultation. I'm always surprised. We have a 3-day plus 2 support days, classic training, and
Yeah.
2-day volume. And I'm surprised with volume students, I expect they know how to do a classic consultation.
Yeah.
Obviously, especially if they've trained classics with us previously, but if they're coming from another training school, sometimes they can't even sit down and talk, like have a normal conversation with the client. So that is completely lacking. Do you want to chat about the people that we've brought in?
Yeah, definitely.
Offering some of their expertise, like maybe you want to start, because it's so interesting, is lashes, brows, beauty, business, Facebook ads. Yeah.
We have some pretty exciting speakers. We have Julie from Total Coaching Academy. Now, she's based in South Australia here in Australia. She's been in the industry forever. She originally comes from hair, and she's probably one of the best coaches and motivational speakers. And I've never seen her live. Okay, I've never been live with her, but from what I've seen her share and post, because I'm on her groups, of course, on Facebook, she has this very down-to-earth, way about her with being able to share how to juggle your workload is what she's going to be sharing with. This is how you can, and I'm sure, Julie, you've had the same problem, is that you either are all in at work and you totally neglect your home life, and then you go, oh, I've got to take care of this part of my life, and then you neglect work. And it's like, how do you actually juggle that? I've been, had a business for over 20 years now, and I still go either all or nothing, because I don't know how to moderate that quite as well. So that's going to be super exciting, I think, to have her part of our team. I'm really, really excited about it. And yeah, she's just got such a wealth of knowledge behind her, and the amount of people that she coaches who are extremely successful. So I think the proof is in the pudding when you're looking for a business coach, is who are they coaching and are they successful? Because you can have, there's so many business coaches, and that's another thing, there's so many business coaches out there, and it's like, but have you been in my shoes? Have you run a salon? Have you, had staff? Like I had 5 staff at one point, and I don't actually know how I handled it because I never had a coach. Yeah. I didn't know how to do it, and obviously now I work by myself. But yeah, I definitely think, these sort of coaches that have had the long time experience in the industry, and then they have successful, salons and individual people that they work with. Amazing,
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm super excited to have her on board with us.
I'm excited to see her. I've researched her a little bit after you've talked to me about her, because I never heard of her, and now I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to hear her speak.
Yes,
she's motivation. That's what we need as well.
Yeah, and I think we really need that. People probably assume that people like you and I don't need to be motivated. That we self-motivate, and it's like, oh God, if I could have a cheer squad every day going, you're going to do great, which sometimes my partner does. He goes, you be the best you can be, and it's going to be awesome. And I'm like, thanks, babe. But to have just somebody rooting for you can make such a big difference.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm personally also really excited about Carissa Hill. Carissa is a friend of mine. I've known her for, 6 or 7 years. She is a business growth coach, and she mainly focuses on helping other beauty salons, but also lots of other businesses now as well over the years, in Facebook advertising and branding and sales conversations online, and converting people into people that buy from you via Messenger, because there's an art to it, and sale is quite difficult for a lot of people, and just the way that you speak to them can make or break someone, right? Totally. So getting lots and lots of clients via Facebook ads, really learning how to create nice graphics, how to actually word your ad so that it speaks to the person that you want to attract. So Carissa will be sharing about her strategies in Facebook, which is amazing.
She's fantastic.
So much value. Multi-million-dollar business coach, you don't want to miss her.
Yeah, totally. And just to get those little, there could just be like one little snippet that you're doing not wrong, but not to the best of your ability, especially with Facebook and Instagram, because it's so moody. It's so moody, and with all the updates that have happened, it's going to be even harder. So there may just be a little thing you need to tweak, and it'll make all the difference. So because everyone's on socials all the time, so, well, not all the time, but she's a great asset to have. And again, super down to earth.
Yeah.
which is lovely, you know. We've also got Otto, of course, from Elibana is coming to do the Profusion lamination, which is their newest product. And of course, brow lamination is huge all over the world now, even though it's not a new thing. I remember learning about it 6 or 7 years ago, and I'm like, I don't know, but I can't do lash lifts. So I'm a little bit behind the ball there with that. I've trained actually with Otto doing lash lifts, and I still can't do them particularly well. I don't know why, but it's just not part of my wheelhouse, and that's fine. Lamination I can do, so it's really great to have Otto on board to share the information about their new lamination, because it is groundbreaking for the industry as well. It doesn't have that ingredient in it, which I can't remember what it is right now, and I will never be able to say it. What is it called?
I don't know, but I use it and I really like the product.
Yeah, I've used the Profusion as well. Yeah, and it's lovely, but I've used it on brows, obviously not on lashes, because that's.
I use it on both.
Yeah, you can use it on both, which is amazing. So to have him coming in with that information on how to safely do these sort of treatments, because I see so many, I've damaged people's brows with it. You know, when I was learning how to do it, I've cooked people's brows. So it's very nice to have a product that's not so scary to use as well, that you don't need to be that scared of it.
I think it's amazing not to just have the one formula anymore, because it's quite a strong formula, and if you're not careful with it, you can really over process very quickly. So the Profusion range is really designed to leave it on for longer, and it's a lot gentler, and it's very hard to over process, which I love.
Which maybe
training.
Maybe I'll be able to do lash lifts now, because I was cooking everyone. Everyone was coming in and going out cooked. And I'm like, no, this is not for me. No.
Our next speaker is actually one of my lash crushes from back in the day. She's very well known, has a huge YouTube channel, Frankie Widows from Eyelash Excellence. She's been one of the first in the industry to actually do online courses when it was still really frowned upon. I was like one of the second or third generation of online courses. But I've been following her for so long. I've done one of her courses, and she actually came to train at Lash Tribe Academy as well 2 years ago before the pandemic. And she will be covering a very important topic, which not many people know much about, which is adhesive. How to use it, what different types there are, how to regulate, what are the factors of something not working out, why is it not lasting when I put a lash on, all these kinds of things.
And it's super important. It's really, really important, I think, for people, even if you don't do lashes, to actually know what's in those adhesives and how they work. Because you may have a client that comes to you for skin treatments or body sugaring or IPL, those sort of things, and they've got lashes on, and say they get a reaction or they get a not so good set done. For you to be able to help that client, because they will most likely reach out to you, because most people don't want to go back to someone who has done something not so great on them. I know that I wouldn't want to go back to a hairdresser that messed my hair up, or, you know, if I did get a reaction or I had tangled lashes, I don't know if I would feel comfortable going back to the person that did that to me, which is usually the advice that's on every forum is, my client's had a reaction, what do? I'll get them in and just take them off. Like, that client may not feel comfortable coming back to you. So if they are going to other places, at least you know what chemicals they're being used. And if you're doing, you know, high-end facial treatments and peels and dermablading and microneedling and all those things, those chemicals are all around the eye area. You need to know what's actually going on and what chemicals are on the skin. What else are they using? A special lash cleanser? Like, is that, you know, if there's something reacting on their skin, is it actually from, you know, the lash extensions, the lash home care? Is it mixing with the products? Can you actually use your products? Like, can the client use your high-end products on their lashes? You know, because people do that. You know, I've had clients before that have had retention issues, and I find out that they're using my products because I'm a skin therapist, but they're like blooping the eye cream all over their eyes. You know, and like, I'm a lash tech and a trainer and blah, 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 blah. But I'm like, no, you just apply it to the brow bones. I'm like, I just smush it all over my eyes. I'm like, well, you're lucky that your eyes aren't like swollen from the cream in the first place, because it's so heavy on that fine skin.
Actives in it.
That's what we call the actives. I'm like, but you're just supposed to put it on the bones, babe. Like, it doesn't really matter what eye cream you wear, because it should just be on your bones. You don't avoid moisturizers because you put lash extensions on. That's ridiculous.
It's not a drop. It's not meant to go in your eye.
It's not supposed to go in your eyeball. It's supposed to stop. Nothing's supposed to come inside of this area. So I think it's really important for people that, you know, not interested in lashes, don't want to do it, but you're going to get clients that come in with lash extensions. Whether you're doing IPL, sugaring, you're going to get people that have them. So what are they doing? What have they got? What chemicals are coming on that area? So I think that's super important for people to know as well. And then you can advise that client on, well, this is probably what's happening. They're not comfortable going back there. You can either get some remover or you can send them to somebody else that you know to remove them if they need removing. They maybe don't need removing.
That would actually be a really good idea to teach people, like in the beauty industry and its whole, to remove lashes. Like that would be great.
So we've also got Sarah from Digital Bloom coming along, which again, I'm super excited about. I've worked with Sarah for probably about 6 months now. I had my own journey doing branding and things like that with an agency and lost a lot of money. So I was very, very scared going into, you know, trusting someone with my business again. And I've done a little bit of work with Sarah, did her online course on Canva. She teaches you how to use Canva the easiest way. She has a course for that, which is brilliant. And so I got her to sort of do a re-zhuzh of my branding for my two lines for me. And I'm like, she's so easy to talk to. Again, really down to earth, straightforward, upfront. And she's going to be helping or giving a lesson on how you can do some simple branding things yourself to keep it, you know, coherent through from your website to your emails, if you do emails, to your text messages, you know, to when they come into the salon, everything that they see, all those touch points of when they come into contact with you. So they all talk to each other because that's all part of your brand story. So she's going to be showing some simple ways on how to do that. And then with Canva as well, which, you know, you use Canva, I use Canva. It's fantastic.
Canva is live.
Yeah, you know, it's yeah, Photoshop's way too hard and all that stuff is just in design. It's like, it's too much, way too difficult. So to have somebody who can share that knowledge, being from a graphic designer, you know, background, that she's actually been able to go, well, I can do this stuff in, you know, the Adobe software, but I'm going to show people how to make something almost as good, you know, in Canva. So I think that's great, especially for a lot of small businesses, that it's very easy to rack up huge bills with designers and agencies. And, you know, like, yeah, everything looks beautiful, but it's like, it's a lot of money for startups, or even like trying to come back after all the COVID lockdowns, like to actually have a designer doing stuff that you could do yourself or get a VA to do, you know? So I think that's awesome that she's come on board. You're going to love her.
Yeah, I can't wait. I want to have some more Canva tips, Canva tips and tricks as well. I love it. Before we recorded this, I actually was like busy designing on Canva. I'm always on Canva.
Yeah, it's so good. So good.
We also have a speaker who I'm really excited about, because we haven't heard that much of her yet in the lash world, but I actually came across her quite a few years ago, but properly chatted to her and had to listen to how she speaks and how motivating she is, and how just inspiring her whole story is via Clubhouse. Remember Clubhouse?
Yes.
And everyone jumped on it back then.
Crazy did that go for like a couple of months, and now it's like, it keeps coming up on my phone. I'm like, oh yeah, what are you talking about? Okay, yeah.
So actually her name is Rayanne Copley. So I spoke to her a lot more via Clubhouse, and she, just the way she presents herself and her voice, and she is so inspirational and motivational, and she's all about manifesting the life that you want and you deserve. I thought we need to ask her, because we haven't had anyone like that for a very long time at conferences. It's all very like, you do this and this, and this is how you design something, but we needed something, especially in this time, to really uplift everyone. I feel we are at the end, hopefully not quite at the end, but at least halfway through the pandemic. But I think a lot of people are still really down, and lockdowns happen on and off and on and off. But to really program your body with the neuroscience, because I studied that kind of stuff as well, and I've done podcasts on it, but to really utilize your brain to make your thinking work in your favor is something that she really specializes in. She's also a Reiki master. So it's really, really exciting to have her on board. Her business is called Little Doll Lashes, by the way.
Yes. And she is such a doll.
Okay.
Oh, she's so lovely. Yeah. Yeah. So super excited because we haven't had anything like that at all, really, and well, anything that we've put on. So
yeah, no.
Who else have we got? Tamara Reed, of course, from Beauty Industry. She is she has a whole business of supporting the whole beauty industry with everything from she has a forum on Facebook, and she has an online store which has got like a learning portal in it, which people can be part of, and it gives them so much information on policies, procedures, contracts, how to do services, client retention, because of course, as we know, it's much easier to retain a client than to get a new client. So having someone already coming in who is the best thing to do. So if you're constantly looking for new customers, there's something going a bit skewiff there. She's going to be sharing with us the 7 metrics of exceptional service. And I think this will be excellent, again, especially for people that are maybe new to the industry, haven't worked in a salon before, have just opened their own businesses. It can be very difficult to get your head around what steps do I need to take, how do I win this person over to keep them with me, rather than they come in once or twice and then they go somewhere else and then they go somewhere else, to actually keep them. And a lot of that will come down to how you make them feel and what your service is like. And if you've never been anywhere with exceptional service, you won't even know the level to go to, and we've all been places where you're blown away by the customer service, and maybe the treatment's not quite as good as what you expect to be. Like, they're just brilliant. They make me feel so special that you stay with them. You're not just a number coming through the door.
Yeah.
So I think that will be a really great session for anyone new to the industry or anyone that sort of struggled during, all the lockdowns that we've had and sort of having to rebuild again, because, clients have disappeared since the lockdowns and probably have moved to other people, or they're not getting things done because we were closed for so long, people got out of that habit. So I think getting in the right, headspace again to be, I've got to win over people again without it putting too much pressure on you, I think will be, excellent.
Yeah, and someone who will kind of piggyback on that, but in a much bigger sense, because her business is huge. If you haven't heard of it, Sugar Lash Pro, Courtney Bueller, she was actually also a guest on my podcast a few months ago. She will talk about optimizing the salon experience, because she is an innovator. Like, every time I look at something that they're doing or she's doing or planning, it's something completely brand new. They developed their own range of beds.
I know, it's crazy.
Just incredible. So she will talk about not similar things, but something that dives much deeper into the whole experience as you're actually walking into the salon. Of course, it's also about the connection between you and the staff when you are the lash artist and your clients as well. But it's really about how can you set yourself apart, right? How can you be like that luxurious salon that you want to be? What sort of things do you need to have in place for that? And Courtney Bueller and her company Sugar Lash Pro, they've been around for a very, very long time. They've probably got one of the largest Instagram followings in the lash world as well.
Yeah, they'd have to be up there. Yeah.
So I'm very much looking forward to that. She's so smart, such a great businesswoman.
Such a good businesswoman. Yeah, that's the thing. And I think it's great to see as well, some of the female speakers that we have. Well, everyone's female, of course, except for Otto. That they are all really good business people as well. They don't just happen to be someone who's good at services, who gets busy.
Those people have grown multi-million-dollar businesses.
Yeah. That's sort of where I see myself fit, is someone who's good at services, but I'm not really good at running that side of the business. So it is great to have people that have done both.
Yeah.
Because that business running, otherwise you run yourself ragged just doing clients, and you don't have time to then work on your business. So you've just bought yourself a job, which is what when I opened my business, I bought myself a job. That's all I did. I didn't run the business. So I think it's great to have, you know, these people coming on board who have gone that, not the next level, like the next level up.
After that.
After that, and you
Yeah.
go, oh, so it is possible.
Yeah.
You know, when you hear of people starting in, you know, the spare bedroom of the house and then they've got a multi-million-dollar business, there's so many steps that go in that way, and people just see that overnight success. But we get so caught up in the big picture, we forget about all those little steps in between.
Yeah, and this is also someone who has like 50 plus staff, or maybe even more, 100, 150. I don't know. I have to listen back to the podcast, but it was some crazy number, and huge warehouses as well. Like if you ever want to ask Courtney about anything during the conference about e-commerce as well, I'm sure she'll be happy to answer that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then our last speaker, is that right? Our last speaker is Michelle Rath, who owns Sinful Lashes, which was in Hollywood. She's moved to Hawaii now with everything that's happened. So she is actually going to do a little bit more on marketing again for us, but also different style sets for lash extensions. So this one is more specific again to lashes, but there is a marketing component to it. So even if you don't do lashes, you can take bits from the marketing side and pull it into your own business. Yeah, which I think is the great thing about it, the lineup that we have. Like, yes, there's a lot of lash people and brow people in there, but you can take bits of that information because it's relevant to any industry. You just take it and you twist it to what you need it to be. And having the option of, you know, if you get, well, we'll get into the different types of tickets we have, but if you get our top level ticket, you get 2 months of access to these people, you know, and that's pretty amazing.
Yes.
I'm excited about it. I'm like, I can't wait to pick some brains to go, okay, well, I'm struggling with this, because we all have struggles. You know, we all have things that we get stuck on. And sometimes, you know, it could just get so much harder that you don't have people to bounce off. Yeah.
Yeah. And we also going to have our expert panel open at the end of the conference, I think, for these 30 minutes or so people can ask questions. Yeah.
And doing it live, you know, that you're on Zoom or in Facebook or whatever, and you can type it in and ask it live. Is great. And of course, if you don't want to do it live, you can do it later as well.
You can speak to us as well. We can literally pull you on the stage. We see your face, you see our faces, and you can talk.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great.
Yeah.
It hasn't been done much yet, anything like this. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
So even with all of our speakers, and of course, including ourselves as well, that we have some really great valued tickets. So we really wanted to price it that everybody can come along, you know, and get something out of it. So our ticket prices only start at $79 Australian, and that gives you access to all of the speakers. I think it's a week, isn't it?
Yeah. What is that? I'm just
going to
have a look what that is in US dollars. So 79 Australian dollars is
probably like 50 to 60.
Oh, at the moment, always depends on the day. It's around $60 US.
Yeah, beautiful. So that's our bronze level tickets. You will be able to come in live on the day if you want to, or you can watch the recorded back in the Facebook group. And you also get access to that group for a month. So a lot of online things I've done, it's just like a couple of days, or it's just the day, or it's just the week. And then, I don't know about you, but my weeks just disappear. I sign up to do something, you know, yesterday, and then all of a sudden it's July. I was like, where did that time go? So to have that month to be able to come in, and then you can watch what you want to watch or whatever you don't want to watch, you know. So there's no goodie bags or anything included in that level, obviously. But it does give you all of the information. And I think it's an awesome price personally myself.
Which brings us to the next one. And I want to talk about that first, because we were discussing like, what can we do different other than people just sitting at home watching something? Yes, they will be able to ask us questions live, but how can we be there more with them? So we have decided to actually physically send out a very limited amount. I think we've only got 50 altogether, 50 goodie bags spread across the next 2 tiers of tickets, where we actually include beauty products as well as like training vouchers and things like that, and the value is over $500. And we're sending that out to you, so you will have it on the day, sitting there with your beautiful products, going through it, and we will also add some extra surprise goodies to actually eat and snack on while you're watching the conference.
Yes. And also like downloadable workbooks as well. So you get that next sort of level of education up with the silver. So then you've got something to download. Yeah. And work off as well. And yeah, having snacks delivered. So good, so good. Which of course brings us up to our top level, which is our gold, which is only $279. So everything else is included, but you actually get 2 months access instead of 1 month, which is great. So then you get a 1 month access, you know, to at least a third of the people that have purchased, you know. So you get more sort of one-on-one time with people. So you get that ongoing support, your downloadable workbooks, you get your Luxe snacks as well with your goodie bag. And we're also, which is crazy, putting in an Uber Eats voucher. So what that means is that the day of the conference, we're going to buy your lunch. Because that's one of the great things about going to conferences. You go, okay, we've gotten through the morning. Now it's time for tea and scones, right? And I love a good scone with jam and cream. So, but when you're doing an online thing, that doesn't happen, you know. So we decided to include that in there. So even if a group of you want to get together, and then you can order a little banquet for yourselves, or whether it's just, you know, 1 or 2 of you watching together, you can then order your Uber Eats. And Uber Eats does work across the world. So don't think that we're going to forget, you know, any of our UK or American or Canadian attendees, is that you will get a voucher code and then you just use it on the day. It'll be valid for that day, probably a couple of days with all the time differences. Mm-hmm. And yeah, lunch or breakfast or dinner, whatever time you happen to be on, is on us. And also with the top level, which is super, super generous of you, Julia, is that you're going to get your Kickstarter bundle. Do you want to run through that a little bit for us so we know what's in your Kickstarter bundle?
So the Kickstarter bundle includes our best-selling and most reviewed courses, our classic beginner's course online, and also the Russian volume handmade volume course, as well as a salon sales course. And a money mastery course. So it's like 2 big courses and 2 mini courses all together in the one bundle, which goes usually for 997 Australian dollars, and that is already on special then. So I will include that for free to anyone that is a gold holder.
That's amazing, like super generous. And even again, you know, if you don't do, you're like, I don't do lashes, there's no point in me doing that. But there is the marketing part of that and the salon part of that. So maybe you're not interested in the lashes, no problem, don't watch it. But you've got stuff on marketing and salon.
Yep. Learn how to retail salon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Because a lot of people do really struggle with retailing, thinking they're selling. And it's like, and even when you go to classes, like I've been to so many classes and like, you're not selling, you're recommending. And it's like, yeah, it still feels like selling. But to be able to have techniques to be able to not sell and, you know, do the whole, let's put 4 products in front of somebody so they'll at least buy one or put it in their hand, all that sort of stuff that, you know, we get taught in retail. It feels so ingenuine. But when you generally, you're actually recommending products, which is the recommend, don't sell, that are going to benefit them, you know, and learning that, or even if, you know, you've got a team and you can have your staff watch that to go, there is another way to be able to sell, that you're not selling because we're not salespeople, but we are salespeople. We're selling our skill set every single day. And we've just got to get our minds beyond selling our skill set to, well, if they're coming in to get a facial done or they're getting leg waxing done, like they need to be using something. You know, if you get your hair done, you've got to be using something, you know, to wash with. So why don't they buy it from you? And if you don't tell them, they don't know.
No, I personally, if I go to the hairdresser or somewhere else, beauty therapist, I feel offended if they don't recommend something to me. I'm waiting for it.
Yeah,
you know?
precisely.
Like, what do I do now?
Yeah, that's it. I'm the same. If they don't try to rebook me, I'm like, just book me, just put me in. Like, I want more, but I feel awkward asking. Like, it's such a silly way to be. I feel awkward asking. But if you said, hey, I want to see you again in a month, yeah, book me in, and I write it in my diary.
Yes.
Like the ideal client. What do I need to buy? When do you want to see me? Take me. But I won't ask for myself. So it's I think that's super, super generous of you.
No. Well, that little sales course course alone is like $297 usually.
That's it. You know, so it's such a bargain.
Yeah. But
so we really did.
Sorry, I know you are including something as well, something of yours.
Yes. So I'm doing a discount off. I've got a brand new brow class that's coming out. I'm in my beta testing at the moment, and it's covering absolutely everything from anatomy and physiology, chemistry, mapping, natural brow design, brow rehab, tinting, dye, henna, brow lamination, even just filling in the brows with cosmetics. Some sales stuff as well. As I've already admitted, I'm not particularly good at sales, but the clients that I have that do buy off me buy regularly. So it's covering absolutely everything. That full course will probably take about 6 months to do. So it's covering everything possibly. We have Zoom sessions as well. So not just on your intake, but monthly Zoom sessions where we check in to make sure that you're going okay. It's covering all your infection control as well, which is very important.
Yeah.
At the moment. Well, it's always been important to me, but especially now it's super important. So the full price of that one will be $2,500 coming with the kits. So I'm actually taking $1,000 off that. So if people want to jump onto that, we're actually breaking it right down. And that sort of just covers like taking the $1,000 off, like your kits are about $600 worth. So it's a pretty good deal. And we have payment plans and stuff available for that as well. And then also just some discounts off my other classes. So say you already know how to do brows, but you just want to learn some more about henna or some more about tinting or dye, the difference between those, because dye is so popular now. Just so you have that little bit more information.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Great class. I might have to take it.
Let me know. But yeah, so I thought, so many people don't want to know anything more about beauty other than just doing brows. I'm like, well, there's no course that sort of covers the beauty knowledge that you need. It just goes straight into technique. I'm like, well, I'll do it. I'll create it. So, it's been a big job.
So just to sum up, the last ticket is our gold ticket. The value is pretty much over $3,995.
Yes, it's I did add
79.
I did add it up somewhere. It's over $4,000 value for $279.
And how many tickets do we have left for that? Because we only have a limited amount for the goodie bags.
Yes, we do. So for the gold, we've got 15 left.
Okay.
Of those. And then for our silver, that still has your goodie bag, we have got, 9 of those ones left.
Oh, there you go. Better jump on it now, guys.
So I'm only sending out 50 goodie bags, so there's only 25 of each available. So if you do want to get that goodie bag and get the extra training and the extra downloadables and some Uber Eats and all of that stuff, I would jump on and grab the gold ones now. While we still have some available. As well, we do have Afterpay and Zip Pay available, but you do need to email me directly at info@beautylab.com.au.
Cool. I'll post the link to the website where you can purchase the tickets, either below or above, depending on where this video is going. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, it will be in the show notes.